Thanks, yeah, let's do this meeting. So.
All right, good morning, everyone. We're going to get started here. We're calling the meeting of the Committee on Public Safety, Judiciary, and Homeland Security to order at 11:04. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Wilson has requested an excuse. Commissioner Peterson Mayberry. Commissioner Clemente.
Here.
Commissioner Dobb.
Here.
Chair Garza.
Here.
You have a quorum present.
Next item, please.
B, chairs and marks.
I have none. Next item, please.
C, approval of the July 8th, 2026 meeting minutes.
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Peterson Mayberry, supported by Commissioner Dobb for approval of the minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Next item, please.
D, unfinished business. There is none listed.
Next item, please.
Moving to item 1 under new business, forwarding a report on the operation and activities of the Violent Crimes Joint Task Force for the period of June 28th, 2019 through June 30, 2026.
All right. We have Chief of Staff here. Join us at the table. And ourselves well.
Yeah, I made him come up. Good morning to this honorable body. Brian Reinhardt, Chief of Staff to Wayne County Executive Warren Evans.
Good morning.
Darcel Brown, Chief Assistant to the Deputy County Executive.
That's the second time he's had to nudge you this morning. It's good to see you, gentlemen. Yeah, absolutely. Is there any feedback that you had on this before questions from commission members on this?
No, I defer to this honorable body.
Okay.
I believe I'm prepared to answer most questions, but we're really proud of the work that's being done in this task force. As you can see, that was submitted to this commission. Now there was dating back to the inception of the Violent Crime Reduction Initiative 2019. Every year it's gotten better. Every year crime has gone down. Every year our partnerships, our collaboration has gotten better. Madam Prosecutor's in the courtroom. She can attest to some of that. I'm sorry, in this room, and she could attest to some of that as well. So we're really proud of the work that's being done. I noticed that my staff did submit stats for each and every year dating back to 2019. So the proof is in the pudding.
Yes, absolutely. And we appreciate how comprehensive the data was. Thank you so much for that. Any questions from commissioners on this item? Well, I just want to say thank you guys again. We appreciate how just thorough this was as well. And we appreciate the data and all the work that's gone into this. So thank you both very much. And if there is no other questions, we'll move on to the next item. It's easy enough.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Chief of Staff. Thank you, Darcel.
Item 2, forwarding a Sheriff's Office report comparing the results from fiscal year 2024-25 to fiscal year 2025-26 on road patrol operations and funding.
All right, we'll have Ms. Terry come on up.
Morning, Commissioners. How are you?
Good morning.
So on this report here, as it is, it's a comparison of 2025, the entire year, and it goes through this year of March of 2026. Would you like me to read off each category under the MSU, EU, and secondary roads, just to show us where we are this year?
First for this year, yeah.
So for truck weight inspection, we had 197 performed this year. Number of citations issued were 150. Traffic stops, 65. Overweight fines issued, 304,000. Traffic fines issued, 1,025. Traffic stops, 7,313. And now we're moving on to secondary roads. Warrant arrests, 15. Number of citations issued, 3833. Misdemeanor arrests, 405, and felony arrests, 15. As I said, this is through March. So compared to 2025, I know that our numbers will trend in a higher area. With the secondary roads participating communities, you have Hamtramck, Highland Park, Garden City, Inkster, Romulus, Ecorse, Detroit, as I noted, certain roadways, and Westland. So secondary roads patrol officers may operate in townships within the county they can't operate without a formal agreement. The Municipal Support Enforcement Unit, the participating communities, Malvindale, Allen Park, Inkster, Highland Park, Gibraltar, Woodhaven, and that's for the freeways only, not residential streets. Grosse Ile Township, Sumter Township, Westland, Wyandotte, Trenton, Brownstown Township, again, freeway only, as well as Taylor Freeway only. Northfield Township, Plymouth Township, Romulus, and Lincoln Park. So for the secondary roads or the MSCU services, when we participate with MSCU, we get 50% of the revenue. And if we go into the financials, I just pulled out a sample, but then you have the full financials attached that I won't go through the piece, but just on the sample pieces. So for our secondary roads, the actual cost to date on our personnel cost is 372,000. Fringes at 196,000, uniform allowance at 3,900. This is only through March of 2026, and I would suspect that some of our expenditures our actuals haven't been posted in Oracle yet. So you'll see that true up on the next report.
Thank you.
MSGU, the actual cost to date, personnel at 158,000, fringes at 91,000, uniform allowance at 1,400, and fuel costs at 39. Are there any questions?
All right, we have a question from Commissioner Clemente.
I might have overlooked it. Thank you, Mr. Chair. How many secondary road patrollers do we have?
How many officers?
How many officers? Yes.
I'm going to say approximately 14, but I will get that number and confirm it with you. I do have it.
And do they ever incur overtime?
Yes,
Okay.
it's just not posted right now, but most definitely. We have a budget of 250,000 for secondary roads
Okay.
and overtime, but that budget has not been updated in Oracle. We should have that on the next budget adjustment should be appearing on the next Ways and Means Committee.
Next Ways and Means during budget season, you're saying Ways and Means or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know exactly when, but I know that budget adjustment has not posted yet. So it's not showing the true actual budget for the secondary roads.
Okay.
And overtime.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Peterson Mayberry.
Thank you. My colleague asked my first question that I was going to ask. And then the second question is, Ms. Terry, what type of roads in Detroit? I know it says certain roadways. Are those some of the main streets, or what type of roads in Detroit are under the secondary roads communities? You know, I was going to ask you something like that.
So I will probably have to get back with you.
Okay.
To speak with our commander over in the secondary roads. But because City of Detroit patrol majority of their roads, so it's probably more of the shared areas, but not going into the residential areas.
That's what I was wondering, because I know with traffic studies they've been doing, there are certain roads that have a high level of accidents and speed. They put speed traps up. So I was just wondering. Okay, you can email it to me.
I'll get that back.
Thank
to
you.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any additional questions from commissioners on this item? All right, next item, please.
Moving to item 3, requesting commission approval of a comparable source purchase order with Sparta Chevrolet for the purchase of a Cimarron head-to-head horse trailer for the sheriff's office mounted unit.
All right, Ms. Terry.
So this is for our horsies. They've had a trailer that's like 20 years old. Now we're asking for your approval to purchase a new trailer. That's approximately 132,000 from Sparta Chevrolet.
All right, any questions from commissioners on this item? It's the only one, so that's her.
Because you like the horses.
Yes. All right, we can go on to the next item.
Item 4, requesting commission approval of a cooperative purchase agreement with Berger Chevrolet to purchase 3 2026 Chevrolet Tahoes for the sheriff's office.
All right, Ms. Terry.
So I'm ready. This is for the purchase of 3 Oh, thank you, Aaron. My backup. This is for the purchase of 3 Tahoes for our executive leadership, the sheriff, undersheriff, and our chief of staff. And these are 2026. Burgess Chevrolet, as we all know, is not in Wayne County. However, they were the only dealership at the time that was able to get pursuit rated vehicles from and air co-op vehicle vendor. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. I'll let Commissioner Peterson Mayberry ask her questions.
Okay, so Miss Terry threw that in at the end because I was going to ask why we were going all the way to Grand Rapids and if there were other vendors who could do the police package. I know we do have. I'm sure you'll tell me why we're moving away from Explorers with Gorno Ford, but that was my question actually.
Okay, as far as the Explorers, we use the Explorer vehicles, but not for our executive leadership, the top 3 at the agency. We do have Explorers, and we just recently purchased them, as you guys approved, for Gorno Ford. So those you will see for our commanders, our recruiting team, they will utilize the Explorers.
Okay. And expeditions are also Fords. I just want you to know.
I know my dad here forever, but expeditions we've never purchased before. It's usually Explorers and Tahoes.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Clementi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we are buying new vehicles, 2026, and the vehicles they have right now are not that old and don't have that many miles. So what is happening with these vehicles that we already have?
So as we continue to purchase new vehicles, we transfer the vehicles to, it's a leadership team at the agency. And the older vehicles are moved out. We either auction those vehicles off or move them over to the reserve units or someone that could use them.
Because they're outfitted pretty well, the older ones, so
Yes.
and they're not very old, so they
If
could
they're
go
still in good
to.
condition, we still utilize those vehicles, but it's a rotation.
Okay. Is it always a 4-year or a 3-year rotation on newer vehicles, or do you just kind of go through and
You
look?
know, it just depends on when the analysis is done as far as the vehicles itself.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Peterson Mayberry.
So that sparked a question for me. So I didn't know if we go by years or mileage. Cars they can go over 100,000 miles. So I'm just wondering why we would need to come through and get new ones so quickly if these vehicles are still operating with full efficiency.
Yes, so we continue, as I said, to transfer the fleet that we have now that the sheriff has or the undersheriff. Those vehicles will move over to our other executive leaders. They will get those vehicles. Their older vehicles will move to commanders. So it's just shifting and rotating them out. And the vehicles that are maybe not even to be in service anymore, as I said, they get auctioned off.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. And this might be a question for Aaron, but I think, can you talk about just this vendor in general, how we arrived at this, why there are no Wayne County vendors on this,
Yep.
and then just if you can shed some light on that.
Yeah, so through the chair, in the past, it has been county practice to buy off of My Deal, which the state of Michigan works with various dealerships and the OEMs to select dealers throughout the state that are authorized to sell government fleet vehicles. And coming back, this is one of the areas where we are the largest county in the state, and it seemed odd that there were no, with the exception of Gorno Ford, there were no vehicles that were county based. And so my department, and I'm a former GM employee, so I actually reached out to General Motors, found out that LaFontaine Chevrolet in Livonia is authorized to sell the vehicles. And so direction to all of the departments have been work with county-based businesses. We've reached out to Chrysler, we've reached out to Ford, we've reached out to General Motors to get a list of those. So not every dealership within the county can sell a government fleet vehicle.
Right.
However, we've now identified who those dealers are, and that information's been shared with the sheriff's office, it's been shared with the Parks Department, it's been shared with facilities. And so as vehicle purchases come up, and if they come up as cooperatives, we're directing them to reach out to those dealerships. They'll come to the commission moving forward as comp sources because the sole source, comp source, because they are the only
Sure.
authorized, OEM authorized dealer to sell these vehicles. But this is an area that, yeah, we have fixed the process, if you will.
That's great. That's great to hear. I think one of the things, I mean, I know a lot of my colleagues, we prefer to keep our dollars in our Wayne County economy. So I think that's a very important, and I appreciate you looking into that because that's something that I really, really wanted to make sure we pinpointed on that. Commissioner Peterson, Mayberry?
Just one thing. So thank you for that. And can we get that list as well? Because I know
Certainly.
in this industry, there's a list, but I mention it every meeting pretty much. So I would like to see us do more within our own county in terms of
100%.
contractors and service providers, because oftentimes when we sit at the table, we're hearing they're the only ones, but then we find out that they're not the only ones. So just so that we're speaking from a space of accuracy.
Yep.
Thank you.
100%.
Appreciate you.
And again, in the past, it was, we were going off of who the state had authorized. And,
Sure.
there discounts that the state had gotten, but quite honestly, we're going to be getting probably slightly better deal because we're not splitting that up charge with the dealerships in these instances.
All right. Any additional questions or comments from commissioners on this item?
And I was just going to say, Mr. Chair, so nothing against this dealership, but this is a one-time buy, right? This is through September of 26. So this will go up we can consider
Okay,
others
this
going
is-
forward.
One-time purchase.
One-time purchase. Okay.
So it's, moving forward, and this initial request and order came before we had
Yes.
finalized this other piece.
Understood.
Moving forward, you're going to start seeing, General Motors coming from LaFontaine.
Mhm.
I have to look up on my list.
You can
With the
just send
price
it
of the
to us.
dealership,
Thank
we'll
you.
send it to you. but
Okay.
yeah. And then
Thank you.
Corno Ford will
Corno
remain as our
will.
primary because they are authorized through Ford.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Cornell Ford, the best Ford dealership in Wayne County.
So if I could add, if I could add to this,
Yes.
as I noted on the responses that we started this in December of 2025. So at that time, the dealership, as Aaron just communicated, was not identified. So now we know going forward, we're staying in Wayne County to do our business.
Excellent. Commissioner Dobb.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For these specialized vehicles within the sheriff's department, do we have to use certain mechanics that specialize in the equipment? And are those within Wayne County, or do we have those technicians in-house?
Well, usually when we do the upfitting on the vehicles, some have been in Wayne County because I know like Canfield, I believe they're based out of Detroit area. Priority One is in Canton. However, this dealership has a subcontractor, I believe that's near them, out in that Grand Rapids area. But usually we do a lot of our upfitting with those dealership companies.
Okay, and but is that for maintenance? That's what I'm asking.
As far as for maintenance on our vehicles, we go through MetroTech.
Okay,
And if MetroTech is something MetroTech doesn't handle, we go to CMY, to our yard here.
all right, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any additional commissioner questions or comments on this item? All right. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item 5, requesting commission approval of retroactive amendment 1 to a subaward agreement with Thomas M. Cooley Law School to continue its Innocence Project to screen and bring to conclusion up to 250 cold cases involving claims of innocence where biological materials may be available for testing or retesting.
All right. Welcome, Tony.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Through the chair, and greetings to all the committee members and everyone who is here today. I'm Tony Guerrero. I'm the Chief of Legislation, Grants, and Community Relations for Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy. I'm prepared to answer any questions you may have on number 5, the subaward agreement.
All right. Any questions from commissioners on item 5 for Tony? All right.
Through the chair, if a brief overview is quite simple.
Yes, go ahead.
This is a subaward with Cooley Law School in the amount of $188,710. This is part of what is the Innocence Project. In essence, this is to screen and bring to conclusion up to 250 cold cases involving claims of innocence where biological materials may not have been available at the time that whatever the crime was that occurred. Now, what we're looking to do here is merely to extend the deadline to September 30th of this year.
All right, we have a question from Commissioner Peterson Mayberry.
Thank you. Thank you, Tony. So we hear so many times people who have gone through this program and been a benefactor of the program. So it's an awesome program. I'm wondering, do we have, and so this is out of, we're saying the Thomas Law School, Cooley Law School in Lansing. We do partnerships local with this as well, right? Do we do, okay. What schools are we working with? Are we with Wayne State?
Well, actually, we've been doing some work with Wayne State as far as that goes on these, but this subaward with the Cooley Law School was an original part of a grant, and that was the key. That's how we wound up. Forgive me. That's how we wound up here. And I also wanted to point out that this is increasing the total amount by that 188,000.
Mm-hmm.
So it's taking it from 340,000 to 528,000.
So when this grant is concluded in September of 2026, are we reapplying because we know that this work needs to continue to go forward, or is there some other way where the dollars attached to the work will be absorbed?
We've already applied.
Okay, of course you have. Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you.
That.
Yes, I
said
know how
this
the prosecutor is about
Madam
grant.
Prosecutor,
Yes,
down every grant she can find.
awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any additional comments from commissioners on this item? All right, hearing none. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you very much.
All right, and now I'll entertain a motion for items 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
I'll support.
All right, we have a motion for approval by Commissioner Clementi, supported by Commissioner Dobb. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion's carried. Next item, please.
Moving to item 6, an overview of the Prosecutor's Office Juvenile Division by Prosecutor Kim Worthy.
All right, welcome Prosecutor Worthy and welcome to Prosecutor's team.
Thank you. Are we ready to go here?
You're ready to go.
All right, thank you for having me once again. Good morning, commissioners
Morning.
and staff. I'm Kim Worthy, as you know, and to my left and your right is Robert Heimbuck, who is the chief of my juvenile division. And then, of course, Shakira is here also from my office as tech support. And one of the things that we have not done since we've been coming to you on a regular basis, describing what we do as an office, is present to you the work that's being done in the juvenile division and the work that we're mandated to do there. So I think, especially with everything that's happening now, the steep rise in juvenile crime, steep rise in juvenile violent crime. So I thought it was important to know kind of what just the overview of what this division does. And so we did provide a PowerPoint copy for you. And so we'll go through that for you now. Hopefully. Okay, let's get started. Well, oh, here we go. All right. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, are you ready?
Yes, good morning, commissioners. My name again is Bob Heimbuck. I'm the chief of the juvenile division for the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. And it's my pleasure this morning to give you an overview of what we do in the juvenile division. So to start, we are located primarily, as you know, in the Lincoln Hall of Juvenile Justice, where the juvenile courts are situated. We also have a office in the juvenile detention facility over at the CJC, where there is a courtroom that operates 6 days a week that we staff. Currently, we have 17 prosecuting attorneys, assistant prosecutors assigned to the juvenile division, 6 support staff members, and 4 victim advocates. What do? We cover up to 14 courtrooms. That's 7 judges, 6 referees on a daily basis. We review about 4,000 new cases each year. We handle all parts of the case. So our adult colleagues often are bifurcated. We have a warrants division on the adult side, a trial division that prosecutes the cases after they've been charged. Juvenile division, we do it all from beginning to end. We charge the cases, we prosecute the cases through the end.
Commissioner Clementi.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to, what is a referee exactly versus, judge? I know what a judge is, but what's a referee?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the distinction is judges are elected officials, and judges oversee what the referees do. Referees are attorneys that are court appointed. In practical terms, they're very similar. They both wear robes. We call them both Your Honor, and they handle almost all the same types of delinquency proceedings, with the exception of jury trials, which the judges do. And generally speaking, the referees handle a higher volume of less serious cases. Judges get the more serious, complex cases, and the judges have to approve everything that the referees do. So final approval rests with the elected officials, the judges.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Besides reviewing and prosecuting all these cases daily, we also operate several diversion programs that have been very successful over the years, that I'll talk about in a few minutes. And we additionally participate in 2 specialty courts, along with the through judicial circuit family division, the juvenile courts, in other words. So the types of cases we handle. We are responsible for the review of crimes committed by any juvenile that commits a crime in Wayne County that's under the age of 18. Once they hit the age 18 on their birthday, they're considered adults in the eyes of the criminal justice system. In addition, we also prosecute juveniles who reside in Wayne County that commit crimes outside of Wayne County. So if you have a Wayne County youth who commits a crime in Macomb County or Sheboygan County, that case will get charged in the county where the crime occurred, but more times than not will get transferred to Wayne County for us to ultimately handle, to prosecute, so that if the juvenile needs services, they're close to where the services are, right? Most of our juveniles don't even have driver's license or don't have cars, so they need to be close to where they're going to get probationary services, for example.
Commissioner Clementi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So speaking of youth, 18 and younger, is there any type of evaluation done? We have a lot of people with special needs that might commit crimes, and they might not, their physical age might be 18, but their mental age may not be. Is there any,
Yes.
Does anyone look at that?
Yes, for sure. So that is built into our juvenile justice system. In fact, it's been legislated that it's required. There are different types of screenings that are required now before a judge or referee imposes a sentence, or we call it a disposition. And that is a mental health assessment as well as a risk assessment. And so those things are all factored in. They're shared with the attorneys on both sides of the table. And then it's up to the jurist to decide, what the appropriate sentence is based on, all those things, as well as, seriousness of offense, prior history, things like that. But yes, that's absolutely, those are factors. And that plays in as well, and I'll talk about it in a minute, to our emphasis on diversion programs.
Thank you. I remember being in the legislature talking about that and being very passionate about that, especially being an educator. So thank you very much for bringing that up and reminding me about that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Of course. Thank you, Commissioner.
So the types these delinquency crimes or offenses, I should say, are what you would know as normally as felonies and misdemeanors is what we mostly review. But it also may include youth-specific crimes, which are called status offenses, and that could be incorrigibility or school truancy, for example. Our primary focus is those smaller percentage of juveniles who commit serious crimes or are reoffending. We balance that with the less serious crimes, but we also want to focus on what's important to our police agencies and local communities at any given time. Crimes, as you all know, ebb and flow. Some crimes change and over time. For example, when we've had large school-related violence cases, mass shootings, Columbine, Oxford, inevitably afterwards we've seen an uptick in school violence or school threats that we need to review. They're presented by the local police agencies that we need to review. So those are high priority at that given time. And so we as an office try to proactively address those, and we've done that annually for I think half a dozen, 7 or 8 years.
7 or 8 years.
Yeah, now at least by sending a letter from Prosecutor Worthy to all the superintendents of every school district, all the public and private schools, to remind them, that goes out to the parents, remind them of the seriousness of making a school threat. Even if it's a joke, it is a serious issue for the school, for the parents of the kids in the school, the teachers and administrators. And it's going to be taken seriously by our office, and there are consequences to it potentially. So that's a way we try to proactively address that. Today, with the warm weather, obviously with gun violence and juvenile gun violence as a priority right now, we are all hands on deck with those types of cases. We see a lot of carrying concealed weapon offenses by juveniles. Since July 4th, we've reviewed 37 carrying concealed weapon offenses in custody by juveniles.
Let me just go back for a second. When he was speaking of how we try to proactively address it, and like for the last 7 or 8 years or so, we have been providing letters to Wayne County RESA and working through them and getting these letters in a package that go out with the orientation before school starts. In fact, we're probably ramping up to do that soon. We have this letter translated into 5 different languages: English, Spanish, Bengali, Mandarin, Spanish, Arabic. Thank you. And so it's important to reach all of our communities, and we haven't had any instances that I can think of that we need to get it translated into a 6th particular language. So I go out along with Tony, we go out to visit every single jurisdiction in Wayne County, all 43. It takes us about a year or so to get through them all. We meet with police chiefs. I think I've spoken about this before. And we present this letter to them. We encourage the mayors or the supervisors to put them on their websites. We encourage our police agencies to put it on our website. And basically the letter is to parents stating what the consequences are if your child should commit a school threat. And when we say school threat, we can mean a threat to bomb, a threat to shoot up a school. We get hundreds of these cases that we review on an annual basis, but we get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these cases that we review all the time. And so basically the letter tells them what the law is, the consequences that can happen to their child, and we encourage our parents to talk to their children about these consequences. A very, very quick story that I tell all the time. We had one case where, and this is a long time ago now, where a child was admitted to the University of Michigan, the finest institution of higher learning in the world. Go Blue. Yes. And so we know how difficult it is to get into that school, and this particular juvenile was a suspect. The case wasn't charged in a school threat case. I don't know how the university found out about it, but they did, and they disinvited that person from their freshman class. So even though there was not a charge, there was not a case, there was a severe consequence to those actions. So that's we can, and I thought we had a copy of that. We will forward a copy of that letter to you, so you have it. We would encourage you to put it on your websites, etc., to encourage parents to talk to their children about these school threats and shootings.
Thank you for that. Commissioner Peterson Mayberry, you just have a question.
Yes, thank you, Madam Prosecutor. I was going to mention that letter. I have seen it, so thank you so much. And I know the importance of making sure that people understand what the consequences are. I wanted to go back to the status offenses for youth-specific crimes, and you mentioned school truancy. So that is a big, huge issue, not just in Detroit, but I'll just speak for them as it relates to absenteeism and truancy. So how deep are we going from your office with that, and what are the expectations or for that working relationship so that it makes sense with all of the superintendents that might be involved in the county who might be experiencing this in their school district?
That's a great question. So the responsibility at the outset is with the school or district in working with the parent or guardian to see that, and the juvenile, obviously, to see that they're going to school. They need to do their due diligence first. If that isn't working, the court system can be considered at that point. Usually, the next step is to present that case. The juvenile court has an informal docket that handles status offenses, including school truancy, and they typically get those cases first in an attempt to deal with those, get the juveniles, get the kids back in school without having to go through the formal court process. We are really the last resort. So if all other things have failed, case can come to us for review, and if we charge it, it goes on the court formal docket to a judge or referee courtroom, and it gets prosecuted formally. So we're like I said, we're kind of the last step in the chain, and usually it's pretty significant at that point in terms of efforts that have been attempted and that have failed. And it really, at that point, the authority of Prosecutor Worthy is needed at that point.
And I'm glad to hear that you're the last. We respect that. I'm hoping that the school districts, if there are some gaps in the school district's reporting or processes, then that we could close those from whoever needs to close them. Because I know oftentimes students are decision makers, so they're the ones deciding if they're going to school or not. And so we talk about what does it look like from a parental responsibility, and we've seen that, but also making sure that our young people understand that there are consequences even to this as it relates to not being in school.
There are huge gaps.
Oh,
And you've
okay.
really hit on what the nature of the problem is. One of the main issues that we have, or that we see, I should say, are some school districts are very good at reporting. They will report, and correct me if I'm wrong, they will report if, maybe a little bit of exaggeration, if their student has missed a few days, a few weeks of school. We have other school districts, like our biggest school district, that will sometimes not report at all, or report, we've seen cases 90 days, 120 days, and it doesn't even get to us after students missed like half the school year.
Wow.
And so we've really knocked our heads against the wall for years, and Bob can attest to this, trying to get these school districts to have some kind of policy to get the information to someone first. And so I will just say it, I'll just be very honest. We have a huge problem with the city of DPS, huge. And it's very inconsistent. There doesn't seem to be a consistent policy among all the schools in the district. For instance, it would be great if there's a policy that says after 2 weeks, we're all going to report it.
That's what
the lack of attendance officers, the whole thing is a part of it. And there's no consistency, certainly among the 43 townships, cities, and municipalities in Wayne County.
Okay.
So we have some school districts that are very on it quickly, and we have others that are just on it very seldom or not at all. And also, I didn't find out about this until 20 years ago now. when Bob told me one day there's an additional problem with in-school truancy. So kids are in school, but they're not going to class.
Right. And so thank you for that, because I would like to get involved in this part with this policy piece. And I don't know if it's one that we do across the county so that everybody is doing the same thing. But I know with Detroit, you're talking 50,000 kids, but there needs to be a process in place. So whatever that number is after they have not attended school 10 days, 7 days, because 18 days is chronically absent. So I look forward to working with you all in this piece.
The other thing we found out is years ago is that, and again, I encourage Bob to correct me if I'm wrong. We found there were varying reasons for children not going to school.
Mm-hmm.
They're home taking care of other children. They have, they don't have clean clothes.
Mm-hmm. Transient, homeless.
And so we had all kinds of things that, not just that, but just even more simplistic reasons than that. When we were really flush with cash and really running our truancy programs at a very high level, we would interface and try to solve some of these issues, like, washing machines in schools, things like that. And so we don't have the resources to do that too much anymore, but we still handle, like on the back end, like Bob said, we're the last resort. But there have been years when I have gone personally to almost every school district and address this issue, hoping to get some clarity, hoping to get some consistency, hoping to get some normalcy. And it was something that I was not successful at.
Okay.
We didn't have people that followed through. It was very, very extremely frustrating.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Prosecutor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Clemente.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It was about the letter. Thank you and can we also get in all the languages, please, not just the
sure.
English one? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We will email it to you.
Thank you, Prosecutor.
So just to continue, just to go over the basics of juvenile cases and law that we have. So in 2001, Michigan caught up with most of the rest of the county by including 17-year-olds as juvenile delinquents as opposed to adult defendants in the justice system. What that meant for our juvenile division, the prosecutor's office, was the juvenile division inherited about 600 to 800 cases a year that previously our adult colleagues had been handling. So you can imagine the older the suspect, typically the more serious offense. So that has meant an increase in more serious charges and offenses that we've seen. You're also probably aware that juvenile or adult, the most serious charges can be charged by us as the prosecutor's office, either as delinquency cases or as adult matters. And these, there's really three categories that they go in. And just as a stat, and I talk about life offenses, those are what you would know as capital offenses: first and second degree murder, assault with intent to murder, armed robbery, carjacking, criminal sexual conduct in the first degree. So since 2001 to 2025, we charged almost 500 such cases. In terms of how we proceeded with those matters, more than 50% we proceeded as a juvenile delinquency matters. The others were split between charges as adults, which are primarily the older juveniles, more serious crimes, long prior history. Those are handled in the adult system. And the adult designation is we charge the case as an adult proceeding, but all the proceedings stay with the juvenile court, with a juvenile judge having final say as to what happens to that juvenile.
So when you hear stories about how most of the juvenile cases are handled in the adult court, it is just not true. Because you see, it's about 16%, as you see here. It is just not true. And that's what you hear in the media all the darn time. And then we are very, very, Bob and his staff, we're very, very careful about this issue. When we're considering cases about whether they should be tried as an adult and sent over to the adult court, they're very painstaking. We spend a lot of time conversing both with our adult colleagues and our juvenile colleagues, looking at what the law is. And ultimately, we mostly decide to either do a blended sentence, which is the second thing here, or to keep them in the juvenile court. So that is a misnomer that you hear about all the time in the press. It simply isn't true. Now, what is true is we have had a pretty bad spate of serious juvenile records. So we've probably had more adult waivers, and still it's very few over the last few years. But again, there's a whole combination of things that must be looked at and decided. It's not just one thing. It's not just the seriousness of the offense. It's not just the prior record. It's a whole series of things that we look at. And I should also say, when you have a murder defendant, I think almost always try to, give them an option of murder in the second degree if they wanna. So, um, if it's something that we go forward as a murder in first degree for this small period that you see here, it's extremely serious offense with a juvenile that has an extremely serious record that has been committed to the state before. All the juvenile services have usually been previously used. But again, even in some of those cases, we will make an offer to have murder in the second degree instead. So just want to disabuse that myth because it's just not true. At least in Wayne County. I can't speak for other counties.
Thank you.
Have I said anything incorrect?
No,
Yeah.
no, absolutely correct. So just to cover how is the juvenile justice system different than the adult system? This is really pretty straightforward. There's obviously lots of scientific data and information out there that recognizes that juvenile brains are different than adult brains. They're just not as developed. So, and as a result, juveniles are impulsive. They don't think about consequences like adults do. And so we need to recognize that and treat those cases differently because the people are different. The young people are different than the adults. Another difference is there's really more of a philosophical emphasis on rehabilitation in the juvenile system versus retribution or punishment that you see in the adult system. For us as prosecutors in the juvenile division, our task, is really to balance those most serious, small percentage of those most serious cases, the juveniles that are committing serious crimes that are a danger to the community versus the kids who are committing much less serious crimes or doing what we think is we would consider dumb kid stuff, right? And there's a lot of that. So that latter category, the dumb kid stuff, or first-time offenses, that's where our diversion programs really come into play. And we have a couple programs I'm going to talk about briefly that we are very proud of. The first is our Right Track program. This is a program that you as commissioners have been very supportive of over the years, and we are very grateful for it. It is a fantastic program. It's gotten recognition across the board that is deserved. It is for first-time offenders, usually minor offenses that need juveniles that need some services, okay? Probationary type services, counseling, mentoring, substance abuse treatment, anger management counseling. It is an effective tool that is cost-effective, time efficient. We partner with our county juvenile and youth services department, as well as the youth assistance providers across the county. They're the ones that provide the services and are experts at it. For this program, our Right Track program, from 2019 to 25, more than 2,000 Wayne County youth were accepted into the Right Track program and the vast majority successfully completed the program and importantly did not reoffend. Low recidivism rate. The program works year after year after year. Our data shows that. As I said, this program in particular is a great example of, besides the win-win. So these juveniles walk away, if they complete the program successfully, walk away without a record, right? So that's a win for them, and it's also a win for the rest of us. For the juvenile justice system, because they're not part of the formal court system and all those court hearings, there's a time efficiency, but there's also a great cost efficiency by utilizing a diversion program like this that is run well. This is just, I won't go through this in detail, but you can see 3 months of Right Track services cost just over $1,500. to put a juvenile through 6 months of court probation costs over $10,000. That's one juvenile. If you put them in secure placement for 6 months, as opposed to home probation, it's almost $100,000 per juvenile. Okay, that cost savings over 2,000 juveniles over the last 5 years is tremendous. It's a cost savings for Wayne County citizens that is clear. Our second diversion program is really unique, and it's called Talk It Out, and it's a juvenile mediation program. This program, we partner with the Wayne County Dispute Resolution Center in Dearborn. They provide us with trained facilitators who bring both the juvenile and the victim together to give the victim a voice, tell the offender how that crime affected them, and it's tremendously successful and impactful. It's an opportunity, number one, for the victim to have a voice and be heard and to heal, but also provide a teaching moment for the juvenile to have them reflect on how their conduct affected somebody else. Since 2021, this program is smaller than our Right Track program because it's intense and it takes a lot of time to get everybody together. But we've had more than almost 150 cases referred to successfully referred to the program since then. Yes.
Commissioner Peterson Mayberry.
Thank you. Really quick, Bob, what kind of costs are associated with the Talk It Out program?
Well, the Talk It Out program, there are no costs.
Okay.
So our partners, the Dispute Resolution Center in Dearborn, they provide the facilitators, and our staff do all the other work provided. So there is no cost to the victim, to the offender, and so it operates without services that are or the disposition may include things like community service, letters of apology, maybe restitution if that's owed to the victim, but those things don't have a cost that's attributed to either the offender or their parent or guardian.
Actually, those costs are priceless. But are you capturing this through testimonials to?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. So those are things that, we've got great examples of how both programs have been successful and made an impact on juveniles who have gone on to do amazing things. Done great in school, gone to college. I mean, now with Right Track having been in existence for so long, we have parents that have come back and said that was a blessing. That program was a blessing.
And that's the best marketing piece. And oftentimes that lands much stronger than, us going out to talk about it.
You're right. Absolutely,
Thank you.
it does.
Thank you, Commissioner.
So I mentioned that we also, our juvenile division staff, our assistant prosecutors also participate and coordinate with the juvenile bench on two specialty courts that we have in our juvenile court system. The first is a juvenile drug court. It's called the STAND program. Short for supervised treatment for alcohol and narcotic dependency, and it operates like the adult drug substance abuse courts. And that's how it was created was as under that kind of umbrella. It acts like a diversion program in that if the juvenile successfully completes the program, they walk away without a record. It's a 9-month program of very intensive outpatient therapy. So these are kids with real significant substance abuse needs. And since 2004, almost 900 youth, Wayne County youth, has successfully completed the program. It's not an easy program. 9 months is a lot of time, and for anyone with a substance abuse issue, there's oftentimes a step forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It takes time, but it really works when these juveniles are identified and we can navigate them to that program. The second specialty court is a juvenile mental health court. It was started in 2016 and also, like the drug court, was modeled on an adult mental health court. We all know that many juveniles, as Commissioner Clement noted, have come with many mental health issues, so this is designed to focus on those very significant, time-intensive cases that need very specialized services. Since 2016, 265 youth have been served by this program. Lastly, I want to mention our child support unit. So this unit is small, but it does very big things. It operates out of the criminal justice complex. It prosecutes adults for failure or refusal to pay child support that's owed to juveniles, youth in Wayne County. Since 2020, the assistant prosecutors in this unit have made over 15,000 court appearances. They're in court every day, 5 days a week. And importantly, they've collected $43 million owed in delinquent child support. That is money going back to the children in Wayne County that need that money. To conclude, our juvenile division, besides all the things I talked about, when time permits, we really try to also be proactive in the community and with our law enforcement agencies. We get out to the schools. You see a picture of one of our assistant prosecutors at a civics class in one of the Detroit high schools. We also talk about the juvenile crimes and the importance of obeying the law. Obviously, we help train our local police agencies and update them on juvenile justice, and we partner with the court, with our county Department of Juvenile and Youth Services, and all the service providers and CMOs throughout the county. And with that, I don't know if there are questions.
Excellent. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you. What an education this was for us as a committee. And I will open it up for any quick questions that any commissioners might have before we kick it back over. Any questions? I know we asked them throughout. So Commissioner Clementi.
Just a comment about the CMOs. I think that is a really good bridge for some of this stuff in my area. I know truancy is something that they look at, and it's a quick turnaround sometimes for kids that and parents, they figure it out. But I think the kids missing school almost the whole year or being in school and missing is super disheartening to me. So I'm glad you brought that up, and thank you. And thank you for all you do.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the answer is to that because we've tried a lot of things. And so I'm happy to talk with you further about that. That is key because what are they doing when they're not in school? And of course, the educational missed opportunities, all of that. And so it is critical. And we've always looked at it that way.
Yes, thank you. Commissioner Peterson.
Just one quick one on that child support unit. So the dollars that are collected from the adults is then given to the young people. But are these young people
To the custodial parent.
Oh, to the custodial parent? Okay. That answered it.
We don't have a penny. Of $43 million, none of that comes.
No, I knew it didn't come back. I didn't know if it was actually going. So like sometimes they age out of the parent actually taking care of them, but yet are you still trying to get dollars from somebody who's just in the arrear for child support in that space?
Yeah, our goal is not to put people in, certainly not prison. Like our goal is not even jail. Our goal is to get them to pay money to support their children. There's all kinds of studies, as I'm sure all of you know, about when a child is properly supported financially, how much more successful they are in every area of their life. I'll be very honest with you and transparent. I am really trying to get rid of this unit. And the reason why it's funded, 90% by grant. So it's really a little cost to the county because we don't really have the resources to continue it. We really should have 2 or 3 people in the unit. We only have, I think, 2 or 1 sometimes. And so they are constantly going. And so we have a number of detectives also with me. So when I'm looking at my entire office and my entire staff, trying to figure out how to better place personnel and staff personnel in different areas. When it comes to violent crime, of course, that is our main goal. But again, if the day does come, we're trying to really take care of the thousands of cases we still have. Let's say, well, it'll be around for a while. We're trying not to take any new cases in, as much as we'd like to, and as much of a benefit that it is, and as much good work that it does. I
Right.
have to look at the whole globalness of my office and the things we're providing,
Okay.
because money is not, it's not, ever flowing. It's not, what's the word I'm looking for?
Continual.
In perpetuity, right? No,
Perpetuity, that's a
yeah.
good, yes.
Thank you for that, Madam
you.
Prosecutor. I hope you don't get rid of it, only because I know, $43 million is a lot of money. And I know just what you said, dollars are required for the rearing of young people, and people should not get off if that's, taking
It
care of
comes
their
down-
children.
Yeah, it
Right.
comes down to, do I put more people in homicide
Yeah.
or sexual assault or child abuse or
Oh, don't make us choose. Okay.
So, I have to look at that.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Well, I just want to thank you, Madam Prosecutor. Thank you, Bob. We appreciate all the work you're doing, and this was a great education for this commission. So thank you so much, and we appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you again.
All right. Next item, please.
F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
Not aware of any. Next item, please.
G, public comments.
All right, we are now at the public comment section of our meeting. If there's anyone on Zoom who would like to make public comment to the committee today, please unmute and do so at this time. Are there any emails received?
No emails have been received.
All right, if there's anyone in the chamber who would like to make public comment to the committee today, please come up to the table and do so at this time. Right, all forms of public comment going once, twice. Public comments are now closed. Next item, please.
Adjournment.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Dobbs, supported by Commissioner Clementi. We are now adjourned at 12:06.